Hello everyone and welcome back to DCS World and the Hormuz Freedom Campaign for the AV-8B, where now we're on to Mission 3, Iron Hand. It's another night mission, as you can see, this time against ground-based missile launchers. So the idea is that we're going to try and clean up the anti-ship missile launchers stationed on Qasem Island. And so we are being sent in. Ahead of time, the carrier fleet is going to launch a large Tomahawk strike to take out all of the enemy long-range SAM launchers to give us a chance to go in. At the same time, FA-18s are also being launched to perform a SEAD operation to help further prevent us from being shot down. And we are going in against Silkworm launchers that are on a battery on the coast. We also have a secondary objective to clean up any air defences around the airfield on the same island if we do completely take out the missile launchers. For this we have two laser Mavericks. We've got a pair of Mark 82s, a pair of Mark 82 MLs, our targeting pod, and a pair of Sidewinders. So let's jump in and see how it went.
Uzi flight, check in. 2, 3, 4. Focus. All groups. Irene. Mission is Irene.
Enfield 1, airborne.
Irene is just the go code for the mission there, so we are now on.
Uzi 1-1. Approaching holding point. Holding pattern on left. Keep your eyes peeled. There is a lot of traffic. 1-2. 1-4. Music on.
1-1 on
2,
station at Bull
4.
232 for 110 at 30,000.
10 miles to main target. Clear and hot. Give 'em hell. 2 copies. 3, 4. Focus. All groups. Fiona. I repeat, Fiona.
4, running in.
So there we get the Fiona call sign, which was actually the call sign that the Tomahawks have hit, and we can go
Here we
in.
go. Steer to IP. Check your weapons. 2 copies. 3, 4.
Now I'd actually already started to engage because I misunderstood the mission instructions. I thought we were supposed to go with the first call out, not the second, but here I am going in. Thought Fiona was after we hit these targets, they're not, they're after the SAM sites have been hit. And so our guys are already starting to engage. I did have some trouble finding the site, mostly because the waypoint is not at the target, the waypoint is at the insertion point, which is several miles at sea off of the target. And so it took me a while to work that out. The maps aren't really great. And what you may be able to see here is me just making an absolute mess. I got confused and thought the 28Ls were... Sorry, the 82Ls were laser-guided versions of the 82s. They're not. They're drag versions. So I was trying to use them like a laser bomb, which really doesn't work very well with the dumb bomb, so I dropped it about 10,000 feet, slightly off axis, not lined up, and so no surprises, it absolutely fluffed it. So my wingmen are doing a much better job there. They're getting some decent hits.
Contacts are declared hostile. Free to engage.
We do get notes about fighters taking off, but we do have dedicated F-14 caps, so I just keep an eye out, but the F-14s do nicely take care of everything for us. There we can see one of my wingmen going in with guns. I'm heading in now just with CCIP bombs, which are a lot easier to deal with. And there we go, I get my first actual hit of the day, thankfully, taking out one of the trucks in the support area and start climbing and pulling away. So far I have wasted a lot of time. I have wasted a bomb, but I'm slowly getting the hang of what I'm meant to be doing for this one. I do put the targeting pod over to EW there, just so I can keep an eye, just in case any of the launched fighters start taking an interest in me. But right now we can only see the Hornets and Tomcats in the area. Going back in here, I end up lined up with a different target from the one I'd picked out first, drop the bomb anyway, turn around. I got a direct hit, but it was on a target that was already destroyed, so I really should have gone for the one that I had on the targeting pod, which I saw was definitely still alive. And I go back over to the 82Ls, go over to CCIP mode. And just coming up, that's just the truck that I critically damaged before finally cooking off. My wingmen are still routinely going in, but they are mostly down to guns. I think I need to stagger their attacks again. They have a habit of all going for the same target and wasting quite a lot of munitions. So here, heading back in, I am nicely lined up on the trucks. I really should have just stayed lined up on the trucks. Instead, I decide to go for what I assume is the command vehicle here. Drop a bomb near it, but only does 85% damage, missed by a fair amount. I then have some issues trying to get the laser mavericks to work. I don't manage to get them at all at this point, and so just decide to go in with guns. Now, what I don't realise is I have made a bit of an error here. Because I've got the laser mavericks and guns selected, it's not actually giving me the correct gun CCIP reticule. It's giving me an indication, but it's not a great indication, and it's really hard to actually follow the traces at night, mostly because they're just so bright. You can't make out exactly where they're going, you just know the rough area that traces are existing in. So my shots here are nowhere near as accurate as they should be. I'm kind of firing and then adjusting. Do get the Land Rover in the end, pull away again, and really the issue it turns out that I was having with the laser mavericks is, again, I've been treating them like the A10 laser mavericks, which have a very different display, very different technique of going through and locking compared to the Harrier. And so I was expecting to see things that just weren't there, so I was actually getting some locks, getting some tracks, but I just wasn't realising that it was actually working exactly as I was hoping it was. But here I've deselected the laser mavericks, we see I've actually got the CCIP display, which makes hitting targets a lot easier. And I did actually miss the second truck there. I thought I got it, but it just so happens the Land Rover exploded at the exact same time I was making the second pass. So yeah, I'm definitely still learning a lot about the Harrier. Nice thing so far with this campaign is it does mix the weapons quite a lot, so it's not feeding in one new weapon at a time, it's throwing quite a few, which is a bit of a challenge, but it does mean that I'm getting practice actually using all of these weapons. Now, Lithium, who told me how to use the Harrier, did make an attempt at telling me how to use the laser mavericks, but something went wrong during our training and I couldn't get them to work at all. And so that is why I really don't understand precisely how to use them here. So I messed up the first shot. Second shot, though, went straight through the engine of that. Now I am out of gun ammo there, use the last of it there. Circling, trying to get my lasers to work.
I think we got him. Waypoint 4. 3.
And so there we go, although it kind of interrupts its own voice stabs there. That is the primary target destroyed, so we're now given a secondary target of going in on any air defense near the airfield. Again, the waypoint is not where the air defenses are, but is well near the coast, so I have to really search inland, do spot these hotspots, and nicely enough spot a shulker here. Now here I'm still having issues trying to get this to work, still looking for the old or the A10's symbology. My wingmen are going in, and you can see them taking a lot of tracer fire there. It's because they're actually trying to go in on these with guns. I really should have called them back at this point. And that does cost me an aircraft. One of my wingmen goes down there. After faffing around for a while, eventually realising that I was looking for the wrong thing, turn in on this, uncage. Oh, now I uncage. Fire the missile, but didn't actually seem to track correctly there. I'm not entirely sure what I did wrong that time, because I go through the same procedure for the next one, which works a lot better, but unfortunately that missile does not hit. May well be the missile got shot down there by the shulker. Shulkers will take pot shots at incoming Mavericks, so there's a chance that that's what happened. Still have one laser Maverick, so go in again, mostly just wanting the practice at this point. No, I'm not going to get this secondary objective complete. So got the target locked up, I'm already lasing. Now when I uncage I do get that nice lock. The Maverick does actually go towards the target. This time the shulker does not give any defensive fire. And shack. And all that's left is to RTB. So yeah, that was a mission, managed to return. I opt for my normal sort of cop-out approach here, just the one that I find works for me, especially at night. And so yeah, we did pretty well. Start of the mission was a lot of fire being exchanged between the fleet and the air defences. The air defences got quite a few cruise missiles, but the fleet just launched a huge number of Tomahawks to the point that all of the air defences were successfully wiped out. Then our attack came in and we managed to clear up that Silkworm site very neatly. All 8 Silkworms in the end were destroyed, mostly by my wingmen. The other groups were busy at the same time. F-18s were taking out various rapier sites in the area. So as for what I got one of the Silkworm sites, 3 trucks and the Land Rover, and then that shulker towards the end. We did take 2 losses in the end. It turns out actually 2 of our planes got shot down on that last run. One by a manpad and one by the ZSU. So I really shouldn't have let the wingmen go in without properly arming themselves. But still, interesting mission. I learnt a lot. I'm definitely still improving with the Harrier, but getting there, and very much looking forward to where this campaign takes us next. So I hope you are, and you hope you join me for that. Otherwise, remember to be kind to yourselves and everyone else. Cheers.